in the very heart of the Pamir Mountains, where the air is thin and silence is all that surrounds a great mystery box confounding scientists and historians for centuries. Its creators are unknown, its purpose unfathomable, its contents beyond imagination, fashioned from some strange, unidentifiable metal alloy. It's beautifully carved and designed that just hints at some great story no one can now remember. What thus waits at the heart of this enigmatic relic that has been sealed shut for a millennium or more? The resulting find would trigger the beginning of a worldwide search for answers, with experts drawn from every corner of the world to try and unfurl the secrets of this ancient relic. In 1987, an archaeological team under Dr. Elena Vasiliev finally unlocked the mystery of the box and found it in a remote cave near Murgab, Tajikistan. The cave had lain forgotten and undisturbed for centuries deep within this rugged terrain, completely covered by the dirt and dust. It was only the fine carvings covering it and the odd metalwork that stayed unidentifiable quite apart from the strange shape of the box. The team was made up of Dr. Raji Mehta, an ancient metallurgy specialist, and Dr. Amina Khalid, a Silk Road culture historian. As they lifted the box out of its resting place, they felt as though they were lifting history itself. The carving spoke secrets to the team leader. They had a feeling that they were on a chance of changing the history books. It had to be from around the 8th century, when the Silk Road brought together nations from Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. The pictures that were carved were typical of Zoroastrianism, Buddhism, and early Islamic art, which seemed to indicate symbolism interflow. The team speculated whether it could have been a present, a religious relic, or perhaps contained substances of very high value. It wasn't just a route of trading, but of ideas, faith, technology. Was this little box a record of this trade? The carvings were hinting at a tale of joint effort and invention, although the entire view was still blind. Cutting the box without any appearance of hinges or locks was a very big problem. The internal mechanisms were accessed using advanced imaging techniques, though what these functions were was not known. She observed this alloy was nothing familiar, hence questioning the level of technology the producers had achieved. It had been demonstrating resistance to corrosion, strong, yet it had been ductile and light. How would an ancient culture achieve this? This team was dedicated to uncovering the secret of the box, each step revealing how many questions still went unanswered. Many theories by experts. Dr. Khalid told himself it must hold ancient scrolls or religious relics, maybe a lost text that would show what kind of spiritual practices people were doing at that time. Dr. Vasiliev, on the other hand, felt it contained advanced technology from a lost civilization, or even proof of extraterrestrial influence. Still, others claimed it was a time capsule to retain knowledge for future generation. The theories were varied, just like the experts themselves, except one common thing, that no way was this a mere artifact. It was an enigma that was supposed to be resolved. The team in 2003 tried to open the box using non-destructive techniques. By means of X-rays and CT scanning, they could see numerous gears and chambers, but still were far from making any decision, while scanning turned out to be inconclusive. So internally, there seemed to have some form of advanced locking system, but since there was no knowledge of the alloy or model, the crew was at their wits' end. And the rewritten text box seemed to be more like mystery fiction, deliberately obfuscating all its secrets, this time from human characters themselves. They knew it well that a breakthrough was needed. Still, it would take years of dedicated research and innovative technology to achieve it. The linguists and historians went through the analysis of the carvings on the box and found out it bore symbols from several cultural groups. The inference they subsequently drew was that probably the box was made during syncretism, and maybe the representatives of those communities lived along the Silk Route. The carvings represented other scenes of trade, worship, and scientific inquiry, providing an enriched hint to the reader about the nature of that society, perhaps an applied society. Such was Marx's view of commodities, the social relations between things. It was in a museum, not in a storage place. It was a bridge between civilizations. And what is this about? The team went on studying the carvings, trying to look for any clue that would open up secrets of the box. Neutron tomography imaging technology provided an advanced step for 2015. Pixel counts provided the information that the 225 objects were small, cylindrical pieces neatly apportioned in one direction. Everything was duly considered. if these were scrolls, instruments, or something different altogether. The team was nearer to the revelation of the substance of the box, even if the pictures were still fuzzy. The shape seemed to be of one portion of a bigger machine, although what role that machine was for scientists remained unknown. The team knew that they were zoned to make history, but had to tread lightly. As their excitement grew, so also did their fears. Was it be opened? That possibility of spoiling whatever lay inside or maintain it sealed, so as not to spoil its merit. Historians and scientists had different views, leading to an international discussion. The actual box is an infinite preserve exhibit, or perhaps it's such a bone-crushing secret chamber that even now must be opened so humankind can know the truth. Argument and debate continually went on concerning this topic, with final agreement not yet reached. The box has even come to stand for the problems of preservation versus discovery, and the ethical gap many times opened up by breakthroughs. After years of debate, an international team finally decided to open it in 2021 through a well-documented procedure, of which every step was aimed at preserving what was inside. In this team were the archaeologists, metallurgists, linguists, conservationists, each doing a part on their own specialty. The whole world felt like sitting at the edge of their seat as this team was getting ready to unlock the secret in the box. Or perhaps that was the day they became slaves to this small metal box. Moments later, the box was carefully unsealed with highly specialized scientific instruments. A dead silence occupied space in the room when its cover went up aside to find so much ancient scrolls, so much jigger devices, and so much tiny elaborate vial. And there they were with their heads bowed in awe at what their own hands had brought to light, awed by a magic that made even dirty old broken shards. One's fingers itched almost to pick up a chunk, breathed history for close scrutiny. The team was just blown away by the fine art and beauty of the articles. Every single item seemed to relate a story, but the total story was not clear. The box was open at last, but a beginning only to unfold its secrets. The scrolls were in an unknown script that incorporated elements of Sanskrit, Aramaic, and ancient Persian. They had set experts all in motion to try to decipher the meaning inscribed on the scrolls, and found that it appeared to be some kind of highly philosophical discourse related with time and existence. The scrolls speak about a civilization in which universal scientific ideas were at par for that period ahead of the time. That is, there were lines hinting plenty about astronomy, mathematics, and time travel, among others. The team was awestruck by what was implied in the most mysterious of all, while the full meaning of the scrolls remained elusive to them. All the instruments are made out of the alloy, as yet unknown to human beings. Analysis. The instruments of precision might have been for astronomical observations, or even complex calculations. Their sophistication told of technology that was way ahead of anything previously known for that period. The tools were unique in any way that through design and work, one could not give it. The team thought maybe they were used to make the box itself, or maybe to study the stars. The tools were proof of how smart the people who made them were, but nobody knew what they were really for. Inside was a black, thick liquid that chemists identified as carrying plant extracts and rare minerals, most probably for medicine or rituals. Some dared say it was an ancient elixir of life where an immortal or eternal youth was promised to drinkers. Needless to say, they proceeded with the utmost caution about handling so dangerous a substance. The vial was a tantalizing clue. What was its true nature? A potion? Poison? Something else entirely? The most astonishing discovery, however, was a small, cylindrical device nestled inside the box. On activation, this device played a series of musical notes and shone forth a holographic map of a night sky past, that is to say, of the 8th century. This would have implied scientific knowledge far beyond what the ancients had been credited with at the time. Stunned by the sophistication of the device, the elements of astronomy, engineering, and art were all their road together, the members could only guess or wonder about it. A glorious masterpiece, that three-dimensional holographic star map, caused one to marvel at the sheer technological capabilities and artistic creativity of its makers. But what was it to be used for? In all this, however, the team realized that they had merely reached the tip of the iceberg as far as knowing the secrets of the box was concerned. The alien technology posed even more perturbing questions. How sophisticated were those ancient civilizations? Did they know something that had been forgotten in history? The box posed a lot more interrogatives, causing a rekindling of interest in ancient technologies. Findings implied the fact that the Silk Road was much beyond just being a trade route. Trading goods, only it was a passageway for the exchange of thoughts and innovations. The box was a proof reminder that history is filled with surprises, and there remains much to be learned from our past. News of the contents of the box travel around the world, capturing public imagination and giving rise to countless theories. Documentaries, books, and papers worthy of academic consideration appeared in another reading of the meaning and fate of the box. The box became a cultural phenomenon, a potent sign of the endurance of human curiosity, as well as of those enigmas still buried in our past. All people, irrespective of their standing in life, could not resist becoming part of the story and coming up with their version about the secrets of the box. The universal response was a proof of discovery's power and of the continued charm of the unknown. The box stood for mankind's unfailing interest and the enigmas that even today are entombed in our past. It was put on display at the National Museum of Tajikistan, where millions flocked to view it and be amused by the riddles behind it. The box did not say only a material thing, an organized input and practice by our antecedents. It renewed another consortium of scientists, historians, and explorers this time, very curious to reveal the secret matter of the ancients. The legacy was of the time of childlike wonder discovery itself. Many questions were left standing among these considerable revelations. Who constructed the box? What did it specifically do? And what other goodies still lie buried in the sands of time? The team read the box and things in it, but the whole thing was a mystery. The box kept reminding people something great things were missing from what people know today. These questions left unanswered were a wish for someone one day to work towards uncovering knowledge. What do you suppose was the intended use of the box? Post your comment below and be sure to check out our other videos on ancient mysteries and historic breakthroughs. So much information is buried. Let's do it together. The story of the box had not been finished, and it would go on for ages. A call. This call was also showing that gaining knowledge was a journey that had no end, with all the mysteries of the past yet to be found.